Phoenix discovers water on Mars again. This week on Planetary Radio. Hi everyone, welcome to Public Radio's travel show that takes you to the final frontier. I'm Matt Kaplan. The Phoenix rose again last week, as we learned in a press conference full of very good news from the mission and for the mission. We'll hear excerpts of that briefing on today's show, after which we'll check in with our own Emily Lakdawala for her insights and analysis. I'll also ask Emily about mysterious speculation regarding possible results from the lander's Mika instrument that have not yet been made public. Bill Nye, the science guy, will be along shortly. He's also trumpeting the success of the Phoenix lander, but he sees a necessary balance between robotic and human missions into the cosmos. And as always, Bruce Betts will drop by with another scan of the night sky, along with his patented Random Space Fact and the latest winner of our Space Trivia Contest. You could almost forget that Phoenix is not alone on the surface of Mars. Kidding, just kidding. Don't tell Steve Squires I said that. His two rovers are trucking right along. Opportunity had a scare recently when engineers saw a current spike in the left front wheel. It was just this kind of spike that preceded loss of the motor in Spirit's right front wheel. Fortunately, in this case, it seems to have been a one-time anomaly. Opportunity is now beginning to climb her way out of Big Victoria Crater on the Meridiani Plains. On the other side of the red planet, Spirit could really use a dusting. It's covered by a coat of the stuff. It has somehow managed to maintain power levels that have even allowed it to do some science at Gusev Crater. And now the sun is climbing higher in the sky once again. There's much more to read about the rovers in the latest extensive report at planetary.org, which is also where you can get an update on the Planetary Society's LIFE experiment. It will soon be headed for Mars moon Phobos on a Russian probe. I'll be right back with our special Phoenix coverage. Here's Bill.
Hey, Bill Nye, the planetary guy, Vice President of the Planetary Society here. And this week, I remind you, we found water on Mars. Our robot lander, the Phoenix, put some Martian soil in its chemical detector and didn't find evidence of water, not evidence of an ancient lake, not evidence of the salts that might have been in an ancient sea, not the concretions, the little blueberries, so-called, that prove that there was once water. No, this is water, analyzed with chemistry on Mars. Now, we did all this, my friends, with a robot that cost us about $460 million, spent over at least the last 10 years, maybe the last 15 years, depending how you measure. So, $46 million a year to the United States government is not very much money. To taxpayers, it's considerably less than a cup of coffee at a fancy coffee shop. It's so cheap, it's hard to imagine. To send people there would cost us 40 or 50 or 100 times as much money. So these discoveries could change our world forever, and we did it for the background noise of the U.S. government budget. Now, with that said, many people that you meet will not consider this discovery that significant, because all I can figure, my fellow planetary explorers, they don't quite grasp the significance of it. But if there were a person involved, a human wandering around on Mars, he or she would be a hero or a heroine to us here on Earth, and we would follow his or her adventures very closely. It is said that to make discoveries with a robot on Mars takes about a Martian day, about a sol. To do it with a human takes about a minute. Maybe one of us listening will be that human someday, and he or she will change the world. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Bill Nye, the planetary guy, and you've been listening to Planetary Radio.
Phoenix lander has been toiling away for 65 sols, and for its effort, it has tasted success.
And when Michael Meyer says tasted, he means it. Meyer is NASA's chief scientist for the Mars Exploration Program. He got things rolling at a University of Arizona media briefing that presented the latest exciting results from the Phoenix Mars lander, toiling away above the Arctic Circle on the red planet. The probe is generally in great shape, and its solar panels are still generating plenty of power.
So with that, what we'd like to do is announce that we're going to extend the mission to go to the end of the fiscal year, which brings it to like Sol 124. The mission has already met the minimum mission success, and we're pretty close to completing full mission success.
Next up at the briefing was Peter Smith. The Phoenix principal investigator left the latest announcement regarding water to Bill Boynton, who we will hear from in a minute, but there was no shortage of other data for Peter to talk about. You may remember from before the May 25 landing that there were concerns expressed about the contamination that might be caused by the thrusters that lowered the lander to the surface. It turns out those thrusters did the scientists a major favor.
We're very pleased to see that we landed right on top of water ice, and the thrusters spread the soil away and revealed ice right underneath our lander. This was unexpected, and this was a wonderful thing for us because the water could have been all around us and not within reach of our robotic arm. We had no way of knowing on the local scale how the ice was distributed, so this has been a wonderful thing for us to be able to dig a trench, the Dodo Goldilocks trench, and find at 2 inches deep that there's a solid layer, and then to scrape pieces of this white solid layer off and watch them sublimate over the course of 4 days. So that was our first indication that this hard material is definitely ice. Look at this. We now see a dark patch after scraping, and that dark patch we consider to be ice. And it changes its properties day by day. It goes kind of bluish, and then it goes whitish, and then it turns reddish. It's quite an amazing process as this ice sublimates away into the atmosphere. In other words, goes from solid to vapor without being liquid.
The scientific community and journalists are clamoring with somewhat understandable impatience for more results. But the Phoenix team is moving carefully and deliberately. They couldn't be happier about the extension of the mission, something we'll talk with Emily Lakdawala about after the break. Peter Smith made this request.
I ask for a little patience here as we get to the part of the mission where we do the scientific analysis of the soil in contact with ice. This does take some time, and we still have not collected all our data, so it's definitely going to take some time. And we are looking to understand the history of the ice by trying to figure out if this ice has ever melted, and through melting has created a liquid environment that modifies soils, changes chemistry, changes the microscopic appearance of these soils. And we're just getting the data back in the last week or two, and even, as you'll find out very recently, yesterday. Through this analysis, we also hope to be able to answer a question that goes beyond just finding water ice, but is this a habitable zone on Mars? A habitable zone meaning that we have periodic liquid water, not today but over time, and we have the materials that are the basic ingredients for life forms. It'll be for a future mission to find if anybody's home in this environment, but we will be finding if this is a place that needs to be searched for life forms throughout the next 2 months of our approved mission.
Peter Smith, Phoenix principal investigator. It fell to Bill Boynton to announce the results that have gotten the most media attention in the last few days. Bill is the lead scientist for the Thermal and Evolved Gas Analyzer, or TIGA instrument. That's the one with the tiny ovens designed to cook out interesting components of the soil and send them to a mass spectrometer.
Well, I'm very happy to announce that we've gotten an ice sample into the TIGA oven. When we first found this out yesterday, we were really pleased. There were champagne corks popping in the downlink room, and we just had a great time of it. It's something we've been waiting quite a while for.
That particular scoop of soil wasn't expected to have any ice in it. Bill Boynton said it was a happy surprise when TIGA determined that there was water ice in there after all. Not much, but definitely detectable. Boynton then reached under the briefing room table and pulled out a hat that would have been right at home on the head of a wicked, green-skinned sorceress.
If you excuse me, I have to put on the appropriate regalia for this moment. Hope my daughter's not watching, but... So it turned out that probably it would have made more sense, rather than naming this after the witch in Hansel and Gretel, to name it after the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. And the reason for that